We have increased our police presence. They're in uniform, they're on the street, and despite that, gunshots ring out. It's completely unacceptable.
On this episode of Let's Talk Cincy, the city of Cincinnati's violent night.
This is never going to end for us unless something is done, and they have to do something.
You see it on the news, but then it comes and it's right here in your backyard. Very frustrating.
From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
You think it's always going to happen someplace else, but now it's our tragedy right here in Greater Cincinnati. Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. A mass shooting in Over the Rhine, a brazen act of violence that disregarded the safety of hundreds of people who were simply trying to enjoy a night out. In seconds, what everyone hopes never happens became a reality.
This happened right in front of officers. We're scratching our heads really as to what we can do. 9
people shot, quickly turning a fun evening in Over the Rhine into chaos.
Well, I don't know where it originated, but you could certainly see in video that there was a physical altercation between individuals, but it was a distance far enough away you really couldn't see the exact number involved, but that group broke. And then one of the individuals, obviously the person that we engaged with gunfire, began shooting at a crowd of people.
The victims range in age from 23 to 47. Police telling us Officer Joe Shook was able to fire a shot at one of the 2 people who had a weapon.
He's assigned to our traffic unit. Joe started with us in January of 2016. So he was part of the civil disturbance response team. He was out there with his partner. And again, he acted immediately. He ran toward the gunfire. But for the actions of him, we can only imagine what type of injuries would have to people. There is no question that the actions of Officer Joe Shook and his partner saved lives. No question.
Is completely and totally unacceptable.
Everybody just running everywhere, all over. Like, I'm talking about this right here, probably was like, this street right here, this sidewalk right here, probably like 100 to 200 people standing.
Not only is it the guns, but the bullets. Every bullet can have a name on it. What it really comes down to is getting, bad behavior, addressing that, getting guns out of the hands of the problem folks, and getting them on the right path.
You had first where it went bang, 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 and we all start looking around going, was it over? And then we heard bang, 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 and that's when everyone started running inside of wherever you could go. And so we started pulling people inside. I opened the door a couple times to get some people in, ran down the street, came back, and there was a wedding party inside and a woman in her wedding dress, and it's just like, oh God, that's so surreal. You're getting married today, and you were walking down the street in your wedding dress celebrating, and there's a mass shooting around you. I saw 2 men laying on the ground, kind of holding their legs, so shot in the legs. There was another man who was sitting in a chair, and he seemed to be unable to move. There was another man on the ground. I'm pretty sure they were giving him chest compressions or somebody was over him. I went back down there maybe 15 minutes later to try to walk somebody home down the street. And everything was roped off or taped off. They were trying to get them more tape. They ran out of tape, and that's when the man in the chair had to be lifted out of the chair and into a van. We did not realize he had been shot.
I mean, there really aren't words. It's remarkable that we're at a time right now where people are that brazen, and frankly, I'm at a loss for words for it.
The gun violence is so inappropriate. People cannot resolve their differences without reaching for a gun. It's so commonplace that 2 officers are standing right there and shots are still fired nevertheless.
This isn't it. People got shot tonight. It's gonna go on for the rest of the week. And it's gonna go into next week, and we're gonna have another shooting, and then it's gonna go into the week after this. This is never gonna end for us unless something is done, and they have to do something. We're terrified.
Now, within days of that shooting, police announced the arrest of 2 people, and the prosecutor issued indictments. We also learned one of the suspects was among the people shot. Here's more now from reporter Rachel Hersheimer.
Innocent people running for their lives during a night out in OTR.
If you commit gun violence in our city, we will find you, we will prosecute you, and you will spend a very, very long time in jail.
CPD says 21 shots were fired on Sunday, injuring 9 people, including one of the suspects.
Several shooting victims were located and transported to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center.
The Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office indicted 2 of the shooters.
If you think you can do this in Cincinnati and get away with it, you have the wrong city.
29-year-old Diablo McCoates has been indicted on 16 counts, including felonious assault. 34-year-old Jarvis Barnes has been indicted on 8 counts. CPD says the violence broke out during a fight.
And we're going to deal with this very harshly. And if people think it's cool to carry guns and fire off guns downtown, you better not get caught, because you are done.
Up next, more on the mass shooting in Over the Rhine and the response by city leaders, business owners, and citizens when Let's Talk Cincy continues.
The gunfire in Over the Rhine sent hundreds of people running down the streets. Many people were left stranded after rideshare services canceled trips. Roads were blocked. It was a frightening scene. Just imagine being in the middle of all of that madness. Reporter Danielle Dendak has the story of one person who was there and says she can't stop replaying the chaos over and over again in her head. It was 10 seconds of terror.
We were turning the corner, and we just heard it. Heard all the gunshots, and it was terrifying, and we just turned and ran. Like, that's all you can do.
Bullets fly, people scatter, some take cover in bars, others run for their lives. Payton found herself caught somewhere in the middle.
And they called the SWAT team in, like they were smoking out the streets, like there was nowhere to catch a ride.
What brought her out to Over the Rhine was a friend's birthday. The gunfire erupted during the celebration.
It just was boom, 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 pause, boom, 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 like 15 times or so.
Sending her group of friends and hundreds more into a panic, all scrambling to get away.
I realized that one of my friends wasn't there, and so I kind of went back into it and grabbed her. You think of like the fight or flight response, and I think all of us were all like, flight, just get out of there. But like the whole time I was just trying to make sure like all my friends were accounted for, and I was like very aware it was going on. And you see it so much now, like on the news, that I don't want to say it's a matter of time, but like it's realistic now that, that can happen anywhere you go, no matter where you're at.
Do you think OTR is safe?
Yeah, I never, I grew up on the west side of Cincinnati my whole life. We go to OTR, I go to church OTR. I work out in OTR, shop there, so I never ever feel unsafe there, and the police presence is probably a huge part of that. I think they do a great job. They were there and they were ready.
Some that fled are now left second-guessing their return to OTR.
What do you think could change to make sure people feel safe to go back there?
Honestly, I don't know. That's like the hardest question I think anyone's facing today with all this gun violence, but the police officers did all they could do. They're there to keep the peace. They're there to make sure everyone feels safe. And the fact that someone opened fire when there's so much police presence out there. There's lights, there's cops on the street walking up and down. Like, you can't even get away with like opening like a container alcohol. So I don't understand how someone felt brave enough to just walk in front of a police officer and just start taking shots at people.
Next, a one-on-one interview with a former police officer and now council member who says accountability is everyone's issue. when Let's Talk Cincy continues.
Accountability is a word we heard a lot. City leaders believe they are putting forth the resources to address the problem. Councilmember Scotty Johnson is a former Cincinnati police officer of more than 30 years. He understands the challenge our community is facing as well as anyone.
You see it on the news, but then it comes and it's right here in your backyard. Very frustrating. 9 people. We are so blessed here in Cincinnati. We didn't have some fatalities after 9 people were shot. But having said that, we got to make sure that personal accountability comes into play with this. It's not the police. The police can't do it all. City Hall definitely can't do it all. The community has to be engaged, and we have to care more than we've got to care in making sure that Cincinnati stays on the trajectory it's on. I think we're on a great positive path right now. Entertainment districts, think about that, Curtis, plural. And then when you have an incident like that, it takes away from the safety of everybody. So it's not all about the police. It's about everybody being accountable. And I'm talking about being accountable because, let's be honest, the community knows before the police knows who's beefing and who the bad guys are. And we can't allow 1 or 2% of the people that are causing these issues to ruin it for everybody.
Some people might not remember this. I do. This is when you were the head of the Sentinels, that you called out people who were just doing things that were outlandish, as the word that you use this. And so now that's 20 plus years ago.
Sadly enough, we're living right now in times where it appears that respect for one another and respect for your fellow man seems to have gotten lost somewhere. And it is sad. Now we're talking 20 plus years later, we're having the same conversation. There are people in this city that have given their life to making sure Cincinnati is what it has the potential to be. I'm 35 years now into service to this city. So it is extremely frustrating to continuously have that conversation to say, hey, look, what about just basic respect one for another? That does not mean conflicts are not going to arise, but do they always have to result now in somebody picking up a firearm and shooting at somebody else? We know that's not what we need to see here or anywhere else, but we got to keep having the conversation because unfortunately we got a society that's pervasive across America where people just don't care one for another anymore.
Here, you had police in the area and people still felt comfortable enough to pull out a weapon. And
like I said, it speaks to the societal ills of this country. First and foremost, we've got to keep talking about it. We need responsible gun ownership. I support the Second Amendment. I'm a gun owner myself. I'm going to be one until they put me in the ground. But responsible gun ownership is the key. The brazen acts of very few that we've seen across this country, and unfortunately here in the city, with a man coming out and pointing a gun at Officer Steele. Thank God she was prepared and she had to do what she had to do. Last week, police less than 50 feet away, and they feel comfortable using firearms. Society is more dangerous. That means police officers' jobs are 10 times more dangerous. But accountability, those that want to perpetuate these ridiculous, outlandish acts, we got to make sure they feel the full brunt of the law when they're apprehended. And you need to suffer the consequences if you do things like that nature. You use a gun in Cincinnati, you need to go to jail, bottom line. The citizens that live down there don't deserve it. The business owners don't deserve it. And then the people, Curtis, that are there just trying to have a good time, they don't deserve to have to keep looking over their shoulders, dodging bullets, because somebody couldn't handle conflict the way it should be handled.
When did you first see the video of people running, and then what went through your mind? Because it really is a scary looking sight to see people running.
And unless you've been somewhere where bullets are flying, unfortunately, 33 years with the police department, I've been there. It's not like on television. You don't just stoop down and come back firing. That doesn't happen. But I saw the video really kind of early that morning when actually Channel 5 was running some of that video. It is a scary thing, but nobody deserves to have to live like that. The residents down there, do they really have to deal with gunfire all the way into 1:30, 2:30 in the morning where they are trying to live peacefully? Think about the children that live down there. Think about the lady that may have just put her baby to bed or playing video games, or the husband and wife that have had a long week sitting there watching a movie with the family. Those are the things that could have happened. We give God praise that nothing like that happened, but we can't keep believing that Cincinnati is outside the bounds of something that unfortunate happening.
And I know there's no quick fix.
Most of the solutions are geared around personal accountability. We gotta make sure that it's not just the police, it's not just the business owners. You see something, say something. You know, and I think the people in the community know, when there's somebody down there with a gun with ill intent. It's not snitching. It's a safety measure so everybody can enjoy the great things happening here in Cincinnati.
The city has been generous in its funding to the police department.
Absolutely.
So that, you can always get more, but that hasn't really been the issue, right?
No, funding has not been the issue. Like you said, I think we've been more generous than most councils when it comes to making sure the police department has the resources necessary to do what they do. Now, they are understaffed, and we got to continuously make sure that we're providing bodies, police bodies in those areas where they're needed. So funding's not the issue. Strategy isn't the issue because the police were 50 feet away. We're back to personal accountability and people respecting one another and handling crisis and beefs where they're not picking up guns and pointing them and shooting at each other.
Up next, a Cincinnati legacy event celebrating the family for more than 30 years. This year, organizers prepare for a new normal when Let's Talk Cincy returns.
And finally today, the Midwest Black Family Reunion returns to Cincinnati beginning August 18th through August 21st. This event began right here in our city in the summer of 1989 as part of a coast-to-coast movement to celebrate the strength of the family and particularly the Black family. It was founded by the late civil rights giant Dr. Dorothy Height. For the past 9 years, music promoter Tracy Artis has organized this event. I talked with her about how the BFR has become a signature event for our city and what we can expect this year, including the all-important issue of safety at that event.
The Black Family Reunion is a legacy event here in the city of Cincinnati, supported by the city of Cincinnati. So we have security built in every year, but we also hire our own security firm. But each year I work with the City of Cincinnati Special Events Unit. They're there on the banks. So they have a security plan to secure the park, and then they work along with my security firm. So I think that everything will go fine. I admonish people to come with the spirit of unity and peace, and I think that everything will be fine. I think Cincinnati Police has done a wonderful job just trying to secure the city, and everything that we've discussed as far as security is on point to move forward. We start with our Black Family Reunion BFR Speaker Series, Professor Michael Eric Dyson at Corinthian Baptist Church. Very excited to welcome him back to the city. He's been here several times, but never been here for a Black Family Reunion. The Speaker Series is a new addition to BFR. This is our 4th year. 1 year we had it virtual. So hope everyone comes out and enjoys that. I just didn't feel like we could be the Black Family Reunion, the national event, and we not speak to the issues that plague our community or speak to the things that are going on positively. So that's why I created the BFR Speaker Series. And the job fair will be at the Horseshoe Casino on Thursday as well this year. And then Friday we'll go down to Fountain Square for our Heritage Breakfast, where you will be our MC for the day. We give the Lifetime Achievement Award this year to Damon Lynch Jr. for all of his work here in the city of Cincinnati. And our Family of the Year is J. Phillip Holloman and family, presented by Fifth Third Bank. Our theme is bold and beautiful. That came to me because I think during the times that we're living in, we've had to be bold, but I think we're a beautiful people. And so bold and beautiful is our theme this year. And when I think about this year in particular, I think about some of the struggles that the community has faced, but I hope that it's a time where people come out and celebrate unity and togetherness and the fact that we made it. I know a lot of people didn't during these COVID times, but for the ones that are here, I hope that we celebrate each other. It's going to be a peaceful weekend, a beautiful weekend. The city always supports the Black Family Reunion. There were 18 Black Family Reunions that she started across the country. She was the president of the National Council of Negro Women when the idea was birthed, because she heard a journalist say that the Black family was becoming extinct. Well, she tracked that journalist down so she could have a conversation with him. And she said, it may be a grandmother raising her grandchildren. It may be a single mom raising her children, but we're still a family unit. Dr. Hyde, just a phenomenal woman. I had an opportunity to meet her, Curtis. I was the guest at the White House for Black Music Month one year, and I took my daughter, who's now 21, but she was 7 at the time. And at the reception, I got a chance to meet Dr. Hyde and Mark Morial. She knew my mother, Mayor Susan Upton Farley, and remembered her from Mount Zion Church in Woodlawn, where she had just visited right before I met her. What a phenomenal woman. I've read so much about her, and even meeting her that day, I could feel her strength. And when she started the Black Family Reunion, she came here. A lot of people don't know this was really the launching pad for all the Black Family Reunions. She had so much support from Procter & Gamble. And so the National Council of Negro Women have a pavilion in the park. And if you go into their booth, you'll see banners with her photos on it, postcards that they pass out, because we never want to forget her. Crime, no succession plan, and funding plague some of the other cities. It has not plagued our city. Our leadership has been strong, and not just with me, but all of the many staffers and volunteers that helped put it together have remained strong and focused.
You know, it always is a great event, and hopefully you can get down there again beginning August 18th. Well, we want to hear from you. Email us your ideas at ltc@wlwt.com. Remember, you can always watch full episodes or get more information on wlwt.com/Let's Talk Cincy. Have a nice day, everyone.